to my old flippers. All my rose, mo sippers. Tell the feds to take more pictures. I smile for the camera. My niggas hold keys like janitors. Throw D's on that bitch, bought her tits like Pamela. Spend the whole day trying to take all my stamina. Never that, still got more for Tamara. Push a sex game, no amateur.
What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Maximilian Must Know. Today we are looking at a discontinued fragrance from the house of Viktor and Rolf, and the name of that fragrance is Antidote. Now, my first interaction with this house came about 6-7 years ago when they launched a capsule collection with H&M. H&M, for those of you who might not be aware, is a Swedish retailer that sort of offers their takes on designer-inspired clothing for pretty cheap prices. And every year they do a collection with a high-end designer and offer about 50 different items, 25 for women, maybe a little bit more for women than there are for men, but about 25 for men too. And they launch them with that designer. And they're usually a little bit more expensive than regular H&M prices, but much cheaper than what those labels would charge on their own. I think Karl Lagerfeld was the first to do one of these collections, and since then they've had quite a few big labels collaborate with them on their lines: Versace, Maison Margiela, Jimmy Choo, Viktor and Rolf, amongst others. You usually have to wait on long lines to get the really good pieces, and I did that when the Viktor and Rolf line dropped. Wound up getting a t-shirt, a tuxedo shirt that came with heart cufflinks, and a sweatshirt with an arrow embroidered in metal on it. Maybe I'll put a picture of the sweatshirt with arrow here, but if not, I don't know, it's very cool. The price for all those pieces was about $150, and if those were regular Viktor and Rolf prices, total would be about $1,000, I would guess, for those items. I always thought that they were a very cool brand, but when Antidote came out initially, I wasn't that impressed, but I also wasn't collecting at the time. When Spice Bomb came out, which was their second men's fragrance, I loved it and got myself a bottle. I found the grenade bottle that it comes in. I'll show you guys it real quick. Let me just grab it. Where is it? Yeah, so here's the grenade bottle. You pull the pin for it to spray, and to be honest with you guys, I found that a little bit tacky. I don't know, I kind of think it's a little bit bad taste to satire anything militarily, but the fragrance is great, so I got over it. And when I got really into fragrances, I do these sample shopping episodes where I give quick impressions on samples that Decant Shop sends me every month. And about, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, Antidote was on one of those episodes, and I really liked it. And I put it on my to-buy list. And on my to-buy list, I sort of have a selection of discontinued fragrances that I want if I can get the right price on. So some examples are Envy by Gucci, Kenzo Air, Mugler Pure Coffee, and this guy was on that list as well. But the eBay prices were all pretty close to $200, and I just didn't want to pay that for this. But Decant Shop sells partial bottles sometimes, and testers, and full bottles sometimes, and they had a 75 ml bottle, about 85% full, listed at $90. I contacted her about it, bought it, she shipped it the same day. I say this all the time, but that's a great website to buy partial bottles or testers, great prices. And before we get into Antidote, let's just quickly talk about Viktor and Rolf, which in a very short time has achieved a very revered status amongst Fragcom. Viktor and Rolf is a fashion house based in Amsterdam and started by two gentlemen, Viktor Horsting and Rolf Snoren. And they met each other while studying fashion at the Academy of Arts in Arnhem. They're known for having really flamboyant fashion shows. They've done stuff like had models wear blue clothing to serve as human screens for which they projected videos of their collection on. When they debuted their menswear line called Monsieur, they themselves modeled the clothing and actually changed on stage between each outfit. They also look like identical twins, by the way, which is a bit weird because they're not related. They have a series of books about fashion. They've designed costumes for theatrical shows. They've done museum exhibits. So they're really well established and are known for really cutting edge pieces. As far as fragrance goes, the duo introduced their first perfume in 2004. That was for women, and it was the wildly popular Flower Bomb. And that was meant to accompany their 2005 spring and summer collection, which was called Flower Bomb. And the duo designed the packaging and the hand grenade bottles that came in. And as I've said, that's been a tremendous success, and there have been many flankers and special editions made of that fragrance. So a men's fragrance seemed like the next logical progression, and in 2006 their men's collection was called Antidote. So they released a companion fragrance called Antidote in 2006. Eventually they needed some help and leased the name out to L'Oreal, the Viktor and Rolf name, and as of today, they have over 20 fragrances in their catalog, but sadly only 2 for men, Antidote and Spice Bomb. And while Spice Bomb is a huge commercial hit, Antidote was not. The noses on Antidote were Eleanor Massenet and Pierre Voyer, 2 very respected perfumers who have resumes that are beyond official. And in 2007, this fragrance won a Fifi Award for Best Male Niche Fragrance and Best Package Design. I personally think of Viktor and Rolf as designers, but that's just me. And notes on this fragrance are going to be bergamot, mandarin, bitter and sweet grapefruit, mint, Guatemalan cardamom at the top, sandbach jasmine, cinnamon, orange blossom, lavender, African geranium, nutmeg, freesia, and violet in the middle, and sandalwood, vanilla, Indonesian patchouli, sensuous white musk, amber, caramel, incense, Texas white cedar, gaiac wood, and tonka bean in the base. So only a few notes in this, not too many. And as I said, because this was discontinued, I did have to get it without a box, but I'll put an image in the video where I can show you what the box looks like. As far as pricing goes, you're going to usually be looking at about $135 to $200 for the 75 ml, depending on whether it's a tester, brand new, in box, or slightly used. And as far as the presentation goes, I dig this bottle big time. It's just got the Antidote in a sort of a silver plate, batch coat on the bottom. You know, juice is light green, but the cap's really neat. It's sort of got this dripping effect to make it look like, I guess, that it was like on some apothecary shelf, maybe an antidote to some sort of poison. It has VNR on the cap, and it has an atomizer that's very quiet. I don't know why that sort of is interesting to me, but it just doesn't. It's a very interesting atomizer. I've never used one like it before. I dig it though. And to me, guys, this is an absolutely brilliant scent. This is like a throwback to 80s designer fragrances that didn't rely on being aquatic and fresh and boring. Didn't rely on ad campaigns that featured dudes with 6-packs, wind sailing with a sail that said the house's name, or a scent that comes with a free duffel bag or volleyball. This is just a well-composed fragrance with very high-quality ingredients. And I'll tell you guys what, in a way, this sort of, to me, is like a designer version of Uden by Xerjoff. You've got this beautiful freshness at the top with the bergamot, grapefruit, mint, and then by the time it dries down, it is semi-gourmand with a really mouth-watering caramel note and gaiac wood and tonka bean. And to me, nothing in this fragrance is synthetic at all. It smells very natural, easily signature scent worthy. Reminds me of Dior Homme in terms of its versatility. You can wear it at a Broadway show, to work, to a date, at the movies. It's just fitting for so many different occasions. And I'll tell you what, the day I got this, I was actually upset that they discontinued this. No offense to Spice Bomb, but which I really like, but I think Viktor and Rolf discontinued the wrong fragrance. And I'll tell you why. There are fragrances out there that accomplish what Spice Bomb does. You know, Eau de Bao is one of those. I think that's actually being discontinued too. But anyway, I find Antidote to be very, very unique. And something else is that this is a great fragrance to let someone who's a beginner in fragrances seek out, because you can pretty easily pick out the 3 stages in this fragrance. From the very top, fresh, to the very floral mid, to the spicy and sweet base. It's just a masterful progression. Very masculine. I don't know if I could see a woman doing this one. Just doesn't feel right for women, I would say. Excellent longevity and projection. It could easily be pulled off in any season. So definitely extra points for that. Rating this one's very hard for me, because to do it, do I do it on the initial fragrance price and availability or the current state? I think I'm going to do it in the current state. If the fragrance were still out on the designer side of things, it would be a 10 out of 10 for me. I know there's another reviewer, Griggy Boy, who feels that way. And at first when he said that, I was sort of like, I don't know, what the fuck is this guy thinking? But, he knows his fragrances. He really does. Me and him have very similar taste. He's a great reviewer if you haven't already watched him. One of the few reviewers I watch nowadays. That's not really shots at other reviewers. I just feel like not many can keep my interest anymore, except for some of the ones that I'm friendly with. So I don't really watch that many reviews anymore, but he is a guy I watch every review that he does. And I agree with him that at that price, it's a 10 out of 10. I think it's perfect and can't find fault. But the only thing that changes now is that the ability is much less, and therefore the price skyrockets. That's economics 101, and because of that, it's a 9 out of 10 for me. I think this is a very good buy at $150 or $160. I think it's just that good of a fragrance, and I can't tell you how happy I am to have this in my collection. This is my third discontinued fragrance. I also have Gucci Pour on 1 and Tea for 2, and I've either paid less than retail or retail for all of them. I just don't do that, pay double. Maybe if there was a fragrance I loved that disappeared, I'd fall into that trap, but definitely not now. And this is one that I would like to buy another bottle of this. I'm kind of want to use this sparingly because I really like this. I can see this being a huge workhorse for me in the spring. And so, I'm already thinking about maybe getting a backup to this, but we'll see. Great juice, guys. Definitely get your hands on this. Decant Shop has samples. I would definitely just get a sample, see what you think of it. And again, if I kind of hope you all don't check the full and partial bottles page on Decant Shop, because there's some bargains in there, and more for me. I really don't care. But, because I do care about you guys, my subscribers, in all honesty. I try to guide people the right way and give good advice. I'll tell you, you guys should be checking that site pretty often because there are just great deals there. There was a 30 ml of Neroli Portofino left in a 100 ml bottle. I think it was going for like $50. So just really, really, really good stuff that you could get a really nice niche fragrance with the bottle for less money than brand new. And if you're like me and you're a huge collector and you don't have the need for 100 ml of juice every time, that's a great way to acquire more fragrances. So anyway, 9 out of 10. I hope you guys have enjoyed this review. As always, we will be back for 2 episodes next week. I want to wish you all a very happy and healthy week ahead.
Columns to the ceiling, I'm dreaming somebody pinch me. My presence is an event. The party don't start until they let us in. That's right, ladies and gents. Coke money to rap money, give it a rinse. Next come the spin cycle. The rims on that Benz get more spin than Michael. I leave them hoes with an eye.